Let's start the fourth part in Geography, Chapter 5, Minerals and Energy Resources. In this part, we'll concentrate on non-conventional sources of energy. Non-conventional sources of energy. Why? What is the need for non-conventional sources of energy? It's due to the disadvantages of conventional sources. Due to the disadvantages, which are the disadvantages of conventional sources of energy? Rising prices of oil and natural gas and the shortage. We know the conventional sources like oil, petroleum, natural gas, its prices are rising, and shortage. Increasing use of fossil fuel causes serious environmental problems. Okay, so these two are the disadvantages of conventional sources. So there is a pressing need to use non-conventional renewable sources. Non-conventional sources are important. We need to develop more non-conventional sources of energy. And which are the major non-conventional sources of energy? We can classify under nuclear or atomic energy, solar energy, wind power, biogas, tidal energy and geothermal energy. Okay, so detailed study of these non-conventional sources are included this year, children. We'll take one by one. The first one, nuclear or atomic energy. Nuclear. How nuclear energy is generated? By changing the or by altering the structure of atoms. By changing the or altering the structure of atoms, nuclear energy can be generated. And when such alteration is made, much energy is released in the form of heat. When such alteration is made in the atoms, much energy is released and that heat is used to generate nuclear energy. And uranium and thorium are used for generating nuclear energy, and the major areas where this uranium and thorium is available in Rajasthan and Jharkhand. And the monazite sands of Kerala also contains thorium. So what we have discussed, children, the first form of non-conventional source of energy, that is nuclear or atomic energy. How nuclear energy is generated? By altering the structure of atoms. A heat is generated and that heat is used to generate electricity. And uranium and thorium is also used for generating atomic energy, and it is available in Rajasthan and Jharkhand, and also the monazite sands of Kerala contains thorium. Move on to the second non-conventional source of energy. It's solar energy. You know, India is a tropical country, so there is enormous possibilities for solar energy. And this how this solar energy is converted into energy source by using photovoltaic technology. Photovoltaic technology converts sunlight into electricity, and it's mainly popular in rural areas, children. The solar energy now it's widely using in all parts of India, and it has two benefits. Earlier in rural areas, people were using cattle dung cake and firewood. Okay, by the introduction of solar energy plants, okay, now people are using more solar energy. Move on to the third non-conventional source of energy. It is wind power, wind energy. Okay. India has enormous potential of wind energy or wind power, children, and the largest wind farm is located in Tamil Nadu from Nagarkol to Madurai, the largest wind farm in India. And in other parts also, children, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra and Lakshadweep. Also wind farms are there, and Jaisalmer and Nagarkol are the well-known windmills in India. So what we have discussed, wind power. India has great potential of wind power, and the largest wind farm is located in Tamil Nadu from Nagarkol to Madurai. Then apart from these, in other parts of India also having windmills, children, in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra and Lakshadweep, wind farms are there. Jaisalmer and Nagarkol are the famous ones. Biogas. Next one is biogas, children. Biogas plants in India. How by the decomposition of biogas is formed by the decomposition of organic matter. It may be from shrubs, farm waste, animal or human waste. Yields gas, and that is using to generate energy. And a biogas plant is set up at municipal level, cooperatives and individual levels. And this plant is using cattle dung. If the plant is using cattle dung cake, those plants are known as gobar gas plant. And there are twin benefits for biogas plants to the farmer, children, in the form of energy and improved quality of manure. Two benefits for farmers, that is in the form of energy and improved quality of manure. Move on to the next one, tidal energy. Oceanic tides are also using to generate electricity, and you can see the slides, pictures you can see here how tidal energy is generated, and you have studied it in science portions. It's included in science portions. Tidal energy. Floodgate dams are built across the inlets. What is inlet? It's a small arm of the sea. Okay, so in the small arm of the sea, floodgate dams are built, and when high tide time, water flows into the inlet and gets trapped. After the tide, the water flows back to the sea via a pipe, carries it through a power generating turbine. That way the tidal energy is generated, and the main tidal energy locations are there in the Gulf of Kampat, the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat and Sundarban regions in West Bengal, ideal locations in India. So what we have discussed, tidal energy, oceanic tides can generate electricity. Floodgate dams are built across the inlet, and the major locations in India, the Gulf of Kampat, the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat and Sundarban regions in West Bengal. Move on to the last non-conventional source of energy, geothermal energy. Geothermal energy refers to the heat and electricity produced using heat from the interior of the earth. From the interior of the earth. When the earth grows progressively hotter with increasing depth, where the geothermal gradient is high, high temperatures are found at shallow depth, and that areas, the groundwater in such areas absorbs heat from the rocks and becomes hot. That means when the geothermal gradient is high, in those areas, the groundwater in such areas absorbs heat from the rock and becomes hot. So it is so hot and it rises to the earth's surface and turns into a steam. We can see the steam. Okay, and that energy is converting into electricity and using. This steam is used to turn turbines and generate electricity. Okay, so this is the last non-conventional source of energy included in your book, children, geothermal energy. That means the heat from the interior of the earth. Okay, and when the geothermal gradient is high in certain areas, those areas, temperatures are found at shallow depth, and those areas, okay, we can see the surface turns more hot and turns into steam, and that steam is used to generate electricity. And the last topic in this chapter is conservation of, before moving to that, children, I'll show you the locations. Experimental geothermal projects in India. 2 experimental projects, and you can see the steam in both the pictures, children. 2 experimental projects in India. One is in Puga Valley, Ladakh, and the second one is in Parvati Valley, Himachal Pradesh. 2 experimental geothermal projects in India. One is in Puga Valley, Ladakh. The second one is Parvati Valley, Himachal Pradesh. Move on to the last topic, conservation of energy resources. And coming to the conservation, children, we know we need energy for economic development. Different activities, different sectors need energy. Okay, and consumption of energy is also as an indicator of economic development. Then, for sustainable path of energy developments, we need to follow, we need to promote energy conservation and use of renewable energy sources. We need to use more renewable sources of energy. But India is the least energy efficient country in the world. So, which all steps we can follow? Okay, if we are following certain steps like using public transport system, switching off electricity when not in use, then using power saving devices, using non-conventional sources of energy. Okay, by adopting some power saving methods, we are saving energy, and that energy saved is energy produced. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.